key oral cases that have stalled as legal vacation controversy deepens. And this, we're talking about the two cases involving Kwabena Agyapong and Annan, who is the former National Food Buffer Stock Company boss. The Accra High Court has adjourned the case of the former National Signals Bureau director, Kwabena Agyapong, and his wife, Angela Agyapong, to August 25th until the final determination of an application seeking to restrain the trial court from sitting during the legal vacation. Now, the injunction application, which is before the Supreme Court, has been scheduled to be heard on Thursday, August 20. In court on Monday, that's earlier today, a legal representative of the couple, Peter Osei Asamoah, holding brief for Samuel Atta Kyea, notified the judge about a letter explaining that Samuel Atta Kyea had other professional commitments which made it impossible for him to attend proceedings during the legal vacation. The Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Shremsai, opposed the request, noting that the reason given mirrored one already contained in a letter sent to the Chief Justice. And if you recall, prior to all of this, both Godfred Dame and Samuel Atta Kyea had written letters to the Chief Justice that they were not going to be available for this legal vacation cases that have been scheduled, which involve their clients. Well, here's how issues are playing out. Godfred Dame spoke to the media. He's the lead counsel for the former National Food Buffer Stock Company CEO, maintains that despite the Chief Justice's directive, he will skip the sittings. He's not going to attend to the courts, even if his client's cases are called. Take a look.
How come this matter has been fixed for hearing the vacation? Was it pursuant to the request of the Attorney General? And if it was not, was the Chief Justice himself exercising discretion without consulting the parties and forcing hearing dates on the parties? That clearly is wrong. If you want to scrap legal vacation, then scrap it all for everybody. You cannot discriminatorily select about 3 or 4 cases and say you're going to subject them to trial in the vacation. And indeed, all the cases, people made the point that Justice Achibonga has a general warrant. But that is deceptive, because that general warrant is actually for him to sit in the court, and that court deals with only these cases, only these 3 or 4 cases. Beyond that, Justice Achibonga does not conduct any trial in any matter.
Godfred Dame, former Attorney General there. A reference has been made to Order 79 of the High Court as the civil procedure rules in the Kojo Kyeremanteng suit as well, relative to how these holiday, or the vacation courts should work. The sittings of the court shall be for such hours as the Chief Justice shall direct. That is what is contained in there, and a lot of reference has been made to this particular portion of Rule 1. And also subject to the Courts Act 1993, as amended, the Chief Justice may appoint any day, including vacations, for the hearing of the causes or matters as circumstances require. And then it goes on to detail a few more, and you hear Godfred Dame talk about the fact that why these cases, these 2-3 cases involving his clients, which have been described as high-profile cases, and this is the National Signal Bureau case, and then also the National Food and Buffer Stock Company former CEO's case. But here's where I bring in lawyer Martin Bebel. Counsel, you heard what Godfred Dame, who is lawyer for the former Food and Buffer Stock Company boss, is asking why the matter involving his client should be fixed for this legal vacation period. And it appears that all of these dates were fixed without consultation with the lawyers of these persons whose cases are going to be heard during the legal vacation. Is this a valid concern to raise from where you sit?
No, not at all. You see, we've made the point over and over that, you see, as lawyers, we have to be cognizant of the fact that the legal vacation belongs to the court. You see, last Saturday we read on the program the CI 47, where you see the vacations listed. It's the court that goes on vacation. Then, so as part of the practice, the lawyers also get to rest. You see, so in law, as we open order 79 of CI 47, that's the rules we use in the High Court and the Court of Appeal. You see, sorry, High Court and Circuit Court. You see that the rules are clearly stated about when the court goes on a break. That's the various vacations. There are 3 of them. And you see that is the court that's on vacation. When we say the court, that's the judge. And so when the judge is on vacation, lawyers also get to rest. But where the judge is working, usually is too much to say that because it coincides with the vacation, the lawyer can still insist that he is going on vacation. Sometimes, if the judge wants, the judge will indulge you. But remember that we are making progress as a nation. See how much day in, day out, you see, we are becoming savvy and pushing the boundaries, trying to make our society better. Day in, day out, we are improving laws, etc. So the truth of the matter is that what Godfred Dame is saying used to be the norm. But now, as people agitate, no, oral, they must see oral results, etc. We cannot run away from that. That's how come now the law is being applied forcefully. Yes, it must happen sometime. For me, it's not a problem if it's said that, oh, then it's an agenda to try people quickly and then they will be jailed. If you try the person quickly and he's innocent, he walks free. If the person is tried quickly and he's innocent, he walks free. If he's guilty, that one to the law will take its course. So for me, I don't think we should be ashamed or feel uncomfortable that the accusation is that it's just an attempt to quickly jail some people. No, it starts somewhere. But even then, this is not the first time. You see, on Saturday, we referred copiously to the case of Nyineku versus the Republic. Oh, sorry, the Republic versus Nyineku. Michael Nyineku, the Beige Capital Bank CEO. You see where Tadiosori had to go and cross-examine during the vacation in August. Then also people have referred to the case of Republic versus Ibrahim Adam and others, the quality grain case. And Justice Afresh sat during the legal vacation, and the case went on. Eventually, after more than 2 years, Ibrahim Adam, who was Minister of Agri, Kwame Pepra, Minister for Finance, and then who else? Sipayanki, etc. They were jailed. They were found guilty and then jailed. And the law took its course. So if quality grain case is 2002, I think they finished somewhere in 2003 or so. So if more than or about 23 years on, there's a resurgence for speedy justice. What is shameful about it? So it's okay. Let people make the accusation that is because it's people. This in the system is in a hurry to jail some people. Because look, no matter what you do, there would always be naysayers, and that's the way society functions. So it's okay. You always need the naysayers, the opposition, right? The critics to make the system better, because the more they cry and cry, like the way we've been debating this thing for more than 2 weeks. Yeah, with hindsight, it may help us to structure it better. That, you see, as I mentioned during the first time, one of my first interviews, I said, oh, since the vacation is about 2 months and roughly 10 days, okay, that's in practice, though on paper it's less, early October, but we in practice, we add 1 week more. So I call it till about 10th of October. Maybe as we agitate and as people agitate, which will benefit all of us, maybe it will be said that, okay, during the vacation, the lawyer must work for a maximum of 1 and then maybe 5 or 6 weeks, maybe half of the vacation, something in between, something in the middle. Because let's not forget, tomorrow, it may happen to be my client who will be tried during the vacation. And of course, it will inconvenience me a lot. So since we are now starting, maybe we will evolve. So it could be me. So as I'm talking today, I'm cognizant that tomorrow I may be the one attending the vacation court to do a full trial. Let's not forget, I'm attending other courts online, doing other cases currently, right? But not the full trial, the time that you have a witness in the box. So as I'm saying this, I'm cognizant of it. So maybe instead of working throughout the 2 months and 10 days, about 2.5, maybe we'll say that, okay, for a month and a half, the lawyer would work, but for 4 weeks or thereabout, there must be rest for the lawyer. Yes, so that out of the vacation, there's a constant 1 month for any lawyer whose case or whose cases are with before a judge who is sitting. Yes, so we can get something this in the middle there, because people are insisting and they have a right that justice must move quickly. They don't understand why. So in this case, when as this judge is sitting, Justice Achibonga, if let's say no work at all is done during this vacation, what it would mean is that when we return, okay, at the beginning of the legal year, he would then take his leave, which will also be about, it's not less than 36 working days. So call it about 2 months. So it means that when he goes on break for 2 months, this case will not be heard during that time. So the full meaning of what Godfred Dame is saying that in 12 months, this case will be heard for only, call it 7 months. So meaning that the remaining 5 months, that's 2.5, 2 months and 2.5. So call it roughly 4.5 months. This case will not be heard.
And you mentioned, and if I cancel well on it, you mentioned the Mike Nyinekuke, the Republic versus Mike Nyinekuke case, and this base capital matter, and the warrant that was issued by the Chief Justice that led to that particular case being heard during the legal vacation. We have a copy of that warrant and what that your story said, and which was actually captured. And that has been referenced as well in all of this conversation about this vacation court and whether it is targeted or it is actually legal. And this is it. And this was signed by Justice Efia Sarah Sariboche. It says, although a warrant has been obtained for the case to be continued during the vacation on August 1 and 2, Mr. Sori indicates that he will need altogether 12 hours to conclude his cross-examination in view of the additional document just filed by the prosecution. In the circumstance, we shall continue 1st, 2nd August 2023. So yes, this was within the legal vacation period at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. each day, and the 13th and 20th of October 2023 case completion plan prepared. So this date of August 1 and 2, 2023 falls within this particular period as we are looking at. But you made the point that the Chief Justice, in fact, has that right, and he issued what has been described as a general warrant. Godfred Dame, if you heard him with what I just played, said, those of you who argue that the Chief Justice issued just a general warrant and not one that's targeted or specific, or didn't instruct the judges sitting on these cases to hear specific cases, it's a misrepresentation, it's a misunderstanding of it, because in the case of Justice Achibonga, he is hearing these specific cases that are of high-profile nature. So you have to look at that side of things as well, Counsel.
What we must say is that now he just, Godfred Dame wants us to believe him, okay, over the Chief Justice. We cannot do so because Godfred Dame, has to speak. He is the one that we have publicly caught on tape, okay, suborning a witness, coaching Jakpa to go and lie before the court, etc. That's in the Ato Forson case. And currently that case is before the General Legal Council, the Discipline Committee, and a prima facie case has been made against Godfred Dame. So the point I'm making is that between the two, what he says as against what the Chief Justice has said, Godfred Dame, apart from the tape that we've heard publicly, seeing that he was doing unethical things, very dishonest behavior on the tape, the General Legal Council has found him to have a case to answer. That's to say, he must answer. So with that, we cannot believe him I'm not aware that the Chief Justice was taken through Article 146 or any other proceedings and found liable, or that even it reached the kind of level that or stage that Godfred Dame's case has reached. So now, with this kind of case, we look at the records of the two persons. And once you see that the Chief Justice has a better record than Godfred Dame, I'll believe the Chief Justice over Godfred Dame. So he should spare us that. You see, it's even lucky that it's our kind of society that we are very open and saying that a man is innocent until proven guilty. So we'll wait till the case is finished. That's his case at the General Legal Council. In other societies, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to even be handling such a high-profile case. In other societies, nobody would have allowed him near such a high-profile case.
Right.
So he should be cautious about some of his utterances. Yes, in a very, strict society, he would not get near these kind of cases that he happens to be near, and is taking these cases to rehabilitate himself, but which rehabilitation is going nowhere.
Council, appreciate you for your thoughts on this matter here on Ghana Tonight. Martin Pebo is private legal practice. We're going to go for this quick break. When we're back, we're going to get to the next issue coming up next. The New Patriotic Party wrapped up its regional elections over the weekend. They are looking ahead to the national elections already. There's a timetable for that election that has been outdoored. But the people who emerged as winners at the regional level, that's the kind of front that the party needs and can actually wage a competent election in election 2028. Stay with us. The New Patriotic Party opened nominations today for its national executive elections, with prospective aspirants expected to pick nomination forms beginning today to Saturday, August 22. But over the weekend, they wrapped up the regional level elections to know exactly which persons will be leading the party at the regional level going into election 2028. There are a number of regions that have new faces. The Ashanti region, the World Bank, the stronghold of the party, have a new person leading as this regional chair, taking over from Bawumia Campaign, who is serving a jail term. But now the party has a new face. That is Odeneho Kweku Annan. He is the elected Ashanti regional chair of the NPP. He's not alone when it comes to the new faces that the NPP is having at the regional level. We saw new faces at the northern region. Greater Accra region has a new face. Western region has new faces. We're going to run through all of them. This man is not new to this position. He retained his position as the Bono regional chair. Kwame Bafo Abronye, DC. Alhaji Fuseni Nuruddin, elected chair for the northeast region of the MPP, and also Makafui Wanya, voter regional chair elect for the MPP, and this man as well coming in fresh for the fresh face for the western region, Ignatius Kwesi Frifa, western regional chair elect, also Elvis Figo Awanakai, Upper East regional chair elect. And then you have Robert Safo Mensah as well. He's, for those of you who follow the MPP politics, this man obviously not new to when it comes to the roots of the party. Mohammed Batima Adam, Northern Regional Chair elect. And then also Alhaji Idris Sulemana, Savannah Regional Chair elect. Jeff Konedu, Eastern Regional Chair elect. Dr. Bernardo Koboy is the face of the MPP in the Greater Accra region. A former Member of Parliament for the Lojikuku constituency, and also the former NHIA boss, not new to the fortunes of the party. There were two boys that were seeking to lead the MPP in the Greater Accra region, Alfred Boy and Oko Boy. Alfred was defeated, unfortunately. But you have Abdul Aziz Rahman, NPP Upper West Regional Chair elect, and then Ibrahim Bukari Baba, Bono East. And then there's Dr. Frank Yirenchi, OT, Regional Chair-elect, Dr. Joseph Kwabena Agyapong, Central Regional Chair-elect, Pius Vincent Abakan, Western North as well. And Richard Ahiagba is joining us right now. Is currently the Director of Communications of the MPP, but he's seeking to be its first national vice chairman in the coming days, and is joining us on Zoom for a conversation. Mr. Abia, good evening to you, Mr. Abia.
Good evening, Alfred.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I know your portfolio may change in the coming days, but I take cognizance of that. But these persons that you have now representing your face in the various regions, all 16 regions, are these the persons that give you the potency to go into the election 2028 with the arsenal and the firepower you need?
Well, thank you, Alfred. You only needed to have stated it and you'll be right. But then you stated it as a question, so I'll say yes. These individuals represent the collective choice of our party people across the 16 regions who are in search, which party people are in search for a regional leadership that will equip them, that will support them, that will resource and work with them to realize a certain promise that he made to the polling station people. And they vetted these 16 gentlemen that you have just listed out. They vetted them and have come to conclude that they have what it takes in their vision, in their offerings and propositions that they make to them during the campaign process, that they, among their peers, have what it takes to be able to provide them the needed support and coordination that they need to be able to deliver the promises that they, the constituency executives, made to the polling station people who are the owners of the party to win election in the coming 2028 general election. So I would say that, yes, these are the choice of our people in line with the objective of the party, which is to win election in the 2028 presidential and parliamentary elections. So certainly this...
Right, I'm sorry, but taking into consideration the results of election 2024, you have new faces in some regions that you lost heavily in. For instance, Greater Accra region has a new face. Your World Bank, the Ashanti region, has a new face. The Central region, you lost quite a number of seats there. It's a new face. And then the Western region as well, you lost all your seats there. And the region has a new face as well. They have their work cut out for them, is it not?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, if about 3 out of the 4 regions that you have mentioned, even in OT, we have a new face there. Western North, we have a new face. But the 3 out of the regions, especially our World Bank that you talk about as Ashanti region, is actually a function of Untumi not being available, who was not going to contest, not necessarily that he's been incarcerated, but the fact that he had actually moved on. So inevitably there was going to be a new phase. If you go to Central region, yes, it's a new phase also on the back of our chairman who we lost, and then there was the first vice was acting, and so it's a situation of a new phase. And even Greater Accra, where the sitting chairman did not contest, so that made appropriate conditions for a new phase to emerge. So the work is cut out. In fact, for all of us, for all 16 regions, the work is cut out that we need a certain leadership vision that will bring about the new revival that we need, the new energy, and a new way of doing business in our party that will catapult us to victory in 2028. So this leadership that has emerged, I think a good mixture, but yet still majority of experienced persons who have led regions, and the new ones who are coming, who are by no means novices, but have been part of the process of building the party in different capacities, but have come to the fore as regional chairmen to guide the affairs of their respective regions to victory. So I think that I trust the collective wisdom of the constituency executives who have gone out there to select this gentleman to represent the regions. I think that we are in a much stronger position now than we were in 2028 to organize our affairs and position ourselves for victory in 2028 for Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia.
And finally, today begins the process for the national executive elections, which you are also seeking to be first vice chair moving ahead. How's the coming days going to look like? Just run us through now till October 3, quickly.
Essentially, I mean, the nominations open today. I think that to be open for, I think, 3 days, closes on Wednesday. And then filing by 27th, I think that the filing of nominations will close. From the 31st or so, I hear from 31st, I think the vetings will start. And once that concludes, there'll be a National Council meeting to announce the results of the vetting. And that's a process towards August 3rd for the elections. So clearly, this will be the last leg of the organization internally to position the party for the new era for 2028. And so I think that in a matter of 6 weeks now, the party would effectively complete all our internal reorganization. And I can bet you, given what the party has experienced in these few days through the successful elections at the regional level, following from the successful constituency elections, the environment in the party is ripe. There is absolute unity rising from all these organizations, and I think that we will be in a strong position. So I am confident and excited. There is a new MPP member in town who feels that it is possible in 2028 to win the elections in 2028. Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia become the next president, and the party working very hard to increase our parliamentary standing in 2028. So I think that we are all excited and we are ready for the battle ahead, Alfred.
Yeah, but thank you so much for making the time to join us this evening.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.